All right, so it is officially 1 o'clock, so I want to go ahead and get started here, even though I know some people will be coming a little bit later and filtering in. I do want to try to keep this at 30 minutes, just for those who are trying to join on their lunch break, and just keep everything straightforward. So if you have questions today and I cannot get to them at the end, I want you to feel free to email me. My email information is right here, info@hampsteadmarketinganddesign.com. I also have my telephone number up here. You can feel free to either text or call that number during normal business hours, and I'll be sure to get back to you. We'll also be recording today's presentation, and then I will post that on my website and Facebook and every other social media platform in case you're looking for that later. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and get things started here. All right, so today we're going to go over what changes Facebook's making to the, or made rather, to the 2021 algorithm. And just like we were discussing earlier, that algorithm changes all the time. These are some monumental changes that directly impact small businesses and in a negative way. So that's why these particular changes we're taking extra seriously. We want you as a small business owner to be able to understand the algorithm changes and be able to use them as a tool and to get the edge above companies that just aren't as savvy as us about social media, or maybe don't have the kind of connection that we have. So if your competitors aren't getting this information and using it, you will definitely be able to take from today what I give you and be able to get an edge above those guys. And I get this question a lot. People want to know, what is the algorithm? Only the deepest, darkest, basement dwelling employees over at Facebook know exactly what the algorithm is, but to make it easy for you to understand, it's basically an equation that is used to decide who gets to see what on a platform. So whether that's Facebook or Twitter, or even Google as a search engine uses an algorithm as well. So it's just in place so that there's a way to filter the content to show people the best results. It gives users the best possible experience in the time that they spend on the platform. So each algorithm is really designed to show people, essentially, hopefully, what they want to see. It is constantly changing, and it's constantly changing to make things better. In April of 2019, new Facebook was announced, and testing started that fall. If you were like me, you may have been asked to beta test, and you may have gotten to see new Facebook before it was rolled out. I was not happy and immediately clicked to return back to my old Facebook. Did not like that platform at all. But right now, that is currently what is being used. All right, so the results of the most current update are that when new Facebook rolled out, small business owners reported loss of reach and loss of engagement. Their sales direct from Facebook, not all of their sales, but their social media sales went down, and they reported less visibility. And just as a reminder, anytime you see anything in my presentation today that talks about metrics, those are going to be directly from either Facebook or Nielsen. So real businesses out there, real small business owners reported a 50% drop in engagement and a 40% drop in sales. That is tremendous. That's a lot. Very, very noticeable. I know almost everybody that I've talked to, all of my clients have reported the same. They're not seeing the same number of likes. People are saying, oh, I didn't know you were having a sale. And you say, well, I posted it on Facebook. And they say, well, I didn't even see it. So we're seeing a lot of firsthand information back from those real business owners just complaining that, people aren't seeing them, they're not getting the same kind of engagement that they were. And I can explain to you why today. And what you need to know is what new Facebook's focus is. New Facebook's focus is not small business forward. It's thinking about the user. It wants the user happy, and it wants the user to stay on Facebook as long as possible. And Facebook has decided that showing them tons of ads is not the way to keep them there forever. And I think even as small business owners, we can all agree that ads can be annoying, and we don't like to see them all the time, but they do have their place, and we're not Target, we're not Walmart, and we're not Pottery Barn, and we feel like our content is special, and we'd like it to be seen. So there are 3 new priorities for the newsfeed, and there's one feature that you're going to want to start promoting immediately, and I'm going to tell you about that next. How the new algorithm impacts the 2021 reach, and lastly, I'm going to give you 7 tips to help your organic reach that uses what we learned today. All right, so there's changes that are impacting our business pages, but let's look at the bright side. Let's just take a minute to think of the positive stuff. Consumers are spending more time on social media than ever. If you don't believe me, just take a look around. Everybody's on their phone now. We're all at home. We're driving less. We're on social media more than ever. And now is the time, based on that, to get your strategy in place. So this is a great time, a 66% increase in the time that users are on social media. So let's use it and figure out how to beat that algorithm and get our stuff seen. We can learn to use this tool even with these changes. Okay, so Facebook and Instagram are going to continue to be critical in any marketing strategy for small business. I talked to a client this morning who was complaining about Facebook and said that they wanted to go to another platform. Oh boy, hold on. We've got dogs. Just a reminder, I am working from my home office, and there are dogs here, and anytime there's a delivery, we can appreciate that they're going to protect my house from the mailman and the oil man. So there are 2.2 billion users now on Facebook, and 75% of those 2.27 billion users are logging on every single day and doing multiple refreshes. This is just reinforcing everything that I've talked about so far about why now. It's because people are there, they're using it. This is your chance to put your message in front of all those people. Okay. All right, so we talked about what's good. Let's talk about the bad. The new Facebook can make your page and your post less visible. It's already happening. We're already seeing it. We're already experiencing it. We know Facebook is not our friend when it comes to trying to advertise our small business and not spend money so organically. So we're not paying Facebook for ads, which is funny because last year, people were expecting a drop. The projections said that there would be less people on social media this year, but now projections obviously have changed, and the average person is on that platform 38+ minutes a day. All right, so I just want you to know I'm going to go ahead and explain the updates, and small business owners have seen improvement already. So this rollout hasn't been around long, but we paid attention, we figured out what was going on, and we have seen improvement, and those are facts. Okay. What I don't want you to expect from talking to me today is anything involved with getting rich quick. I can give you all the tools you need to be successful, but success doesn't happen overnight for most people, and nothing that I'm going to tell you is going to have you, making hundreds of sales tomorrow on Facebook. You will not be, having 1,000 people like your Facebook page tomorrow because of this. You can expect, if you take away what we go over today, increased visibility and traffic and a noticeable impact. Okay. Before I get into it, just a little bit about me. I don't work for Facebook. I have degrees in design, art, and science, and I've been in marketing and social media since 1999. So just a couple of years after Facebook launched in, I think, 1995, I would be doing Facebook work for one of my first companies. I worked for George Lucas, the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens, and T. Rowe Price, just to name a few, and opened an agency in 2019. And I just did my financials for 2020 and increased my business by 300% during the pandemic, which is awesome, and I'm super proud of that. All right, here's a couple things we know have changed already, okay? Facebook will no longer show users who liked a page. This is done for privacy reasons, but this will reduce reach significantly. So no longer will we go to Pottery Barn and see all our friends who liked Pottery Barn down at the bottom there. And then quality content that may have been relevant to friends and fans will no longer be visible to them unless their friend and your fan shares that content. So we're not going to be seeing the same sort of cross promotion between our fans and friends and family members as we were before. Now, this is directly from Facebook, okay? I quote, "The impact of these changes on your page's distribution will vary considerably depending on the composition of your audience." That's really important, so let's think about underlining that in our head. And your posting activity. Those two things are really important. In some cases, post reach and referral traffic could potentially decline. So this is what Facebook has published and told us about the news feed changes. And we'll go over in more detail, but composition of your audience, we want to think about who our audience is and how we got them, where they came from, and your posting activity, what content you're putting out there and what that content says. One new important thing to consider is that they have now changed the aspect ratio and the amount of pre-text that we'll be seeing in posts. So beforehand, we're seeing the larger picture with the robust amount of information here. And now we've got 3 lines of text to give our message to who's going to be seeing these posts. So the takeaway here is just to be thinking more about your message and what you want to say. You've really got a lot less room to get that person's attention and kind of to capture something about you that connects with them and want to see more. Okay, so that was mobile, and this is now going to be desktop. Desktop has a totally new refresh. They've overhauled everything. There's now, let's just show you a picture. There's only one post above the fold now. So this is directly from a screenshot from my Facebook. So you see the new layout has included a larger portion here for stories, a newer section here for advertisements for sponsored ads. And now we're seeing just this one post here above the fold. And what that says is, you know, there's not going to be an ad here anymore or the potential for you to see an ad. It will only be a friend or family member here. And I think that Facebook's done this just to really try to appeal to the user and say, hey, we want you to see something that's really important to you right away. Okay. All right. So now I want to talk about what we were saying before. What's that one thing you can do today that's going to help? I can promise you, if you do this today, it's going to help. If one of your friends or family members does this, okay? We want them to change their follow settings for your business page. Okay, this is going to completely overstep that algorithm because this is going to have your customers saying, okay, Facebook, I know what you want me to see. I'm telling you what I want to see. This is important to me. Make sure that I see this. And how they're going to do that is by going to your business page and going to these three dots here and going into follow settings. In the follow settings, you'll see it's typically on default mode, and that's where it's going to be for typically everyone. You're going to want to walk your friends, family, clients, employees through doing this and having them change this to favorites. This used to be called, if you're internet and Facebook savvy, this used to be called see first. We used to say, I want to see this page first. Now it's favorites. So they're not guaranteeing you pole position, but what they are guaranteeing is that they will show your posts higher in the news feed. So once they select that, they'll hit update. Next, they'll want to go back to the three dots and go to post notifications. Okay, this may be off. It probably will be. They could change this to highlights, but we'd love to see them post that standard. So that means up to 5 posts a day. I doubt any of you are posting 5 times a day. If you are, stop, please. Don't do that. And then what that will do is put those post notifications in their feed for them. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the content a little bit and how it directly relates to Facebook's new priorities. Again, they want to prioritize content from friends and family. They want to deprioritize content published in the past or the same content published by multiple sources. Again, this does not count in advertising, okay? All right. So let's talk about that. This is for all my MLMers out there, my Pampered Chef, Unique, Scentsy folks. You guys might get some posts that come from your company marketing department that say, hey, if you're going to share stuff on Facebook, here it is, share this, okay? And you would typically just hit share or copy and paste that. So Facebook's new algorithm is really advanced. It's going to be scanning and looking at that sort of thing, and it's going to say, hey, somebody else already published this exact same thing. We don't want redundancy out there. We don't want a bunch of this same post. So it's going to deprioritize that post. So we really want to see unique stuff now. They want unique content that you wrote that isn't out there on anybody else's Facebook page. If you go into your old content to start recycling and reusing content, that's going to be penalized as well. They're going to see that and say, hey, you posted this same thing last year. You already said it. You don't need to say it again. It's not important. Okay. So we want to make sure if we're going back and choosing to use something from a prior year that we're updating it so that it's relevant. That's what they want to see. They want to see good content. They want to see relevant content. And this is fun. Pages that use engagement bait or clickbait will lose reach and may be penalized. So let's talk about engagement bait. Anything where you're trying to trick somebody into clicking your post, or anytime your post says like or comment or share to win something. This is going to change the way that you even do a social media contest. So there's not going to be any more asking for likes or comments, and there's not going to be any more copying and pasting really allowed. If you do, you can pretty much assure that your content is not going to be visible to anybody unless they have their settings set to see you. Okay. Organic reach is dropping. On average, there's about 1,500 potential posts in a user's newsfeed. Okay, that's changing. so that now users are only seeing around 300 posts. And I've noticed this too, is even after a refresh, I'm only seeing the same exact stuff. Used to be, if I refreshed, I would see a whole bunch of new friends and family, a bunch of new posts in there, but I'm really not seeing that anymore. Okay, Facebook's determining which posts are shown by the post and user preferences that we already talked about, and it's also using ranking for your business page, okay? So we'll talk about ranking in a minute, but let's talk about how visibility is determined. So when you put out a new post with that great new content that is original and relevant, it wasn't copied and pasted, it's not asking for anything, it's just really good stuff, okay? Facebook's going to show that to about 1% of your users or fans. So let's say you have 100 Facebook fans on your business page. One person's going to see that post. Whatever that one person does is going to determine the visibility for the next segment of your fans. So if that one person does not like, comment, share, engage with that post, there is a good possibility that it will not be seen after that. If that person does engage, then what it's going to do is going to take a smaller segment. So from that 1%, it's going to bump it up to 5% and show it to 5%. And if it shows it to 5% of your audience and they all like it too, then it's going to open you up to like 20 to 30 and incrementally go up from there. So you can base how well your posts do also by the engagement. So if people are engaging, then more people are seeing it and vice versa. And pages creating posts and people, if pages create posts and people don't comment on or interact with them, those are the people that are going to lose the most in this new Facebook scenario. So with ranking signals, this is a totally separate part of the algorithm from what we've discussed so far, but there is some hope for getting a little bit better traction if your page is just ranked better than some others. So if you've had a long-standing business page and it's been active for a long time, they're automatically going to bump you up in priority over brand new pages. The percentage of followers that engage in general will already be taken into account. So if you already have a really good engaging audience and you're posting and you're getting 20 likes, comments, and shares on that one post that day, then you've already got a really engaged, great audience. They're going to already prioritize you above other people and competitors. They're going to take a look at your consistency, and yes, they do know all the numbers as to how many times you've posted over the years, and can see that. So if you're consistent in your posting schedule, this is going to tick off something for that algorithm for you. So remember, I said don't post 5 times a day. It's really hard to keep up with that, and it's really hard to make that any sort of consistency. You want to have a schedule and you want to stick to it. All right, so let's do it. Let's talk about what we can do, okay? Start creating great content that's relevant to your audience. I want everybody to try to stop posting for the sake of posting. Think about what adds value to your clients. If you want to share something because you just don't have a new product or a sale or anything going on, but you really want to be consistent, try to share something educational, try to share something about you, about your business that they might not know, a fun fact about your industry. Make it something that adds value to your audience and to the feed, not just, share a picture of your dog, because I know if I say that, everybody will share a picture of their dog because they love a dog and it'll look like engagement. Okay, remember, we're not copying and pasting, we're avoiding clickbait, and we're trying to be fun and inspiring and easy to share. Okay. Facebook, the new algorithm, loves videos. Videos are kind of something when we're talking about Facebook stories and things like that, that they're trying to really promote and get out there more. So with TikTok and a lot of the other upcoming platforms that use video, Facebook is a little bit behind. So that if you're posting videos, there's a really, really high chance that you'll be prioritized, okay? No more text only. Do not use text only posts. You have to put an image in there. If you're using text only, I can almost guarantee 0 to 1% visibility on those posts. Put an image in there. Do your best. Okay, so this is new. No outbound links. Okay, so this would be if you blogged and you wanted to share your blog, if you wanted to send them to your website. Facebook now wants to keep users on the platform. They don't want people leaving, and they've figured out a way to now deprioritize those posts with outbound links. So if you're trying to send somebody somewhere else to your website or to your blog, wherever that may be, that is not going to work. So try to limit those. I'm not saying don't do it, because sometimes we really want to send somebody somewhere. But, you know, a lot of saying links in profile sort of thing. Well, you know, these are ways where we get around that sort of thing. All right. Posting best times. These are probably things that you might already know about if you've already taken a Facebook 101 class or used that for business, but check your page insight tools for best posting times. Business to business, like myself, typical 9 to 2, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays if you don't know your best times. And then business to consumer is going to be noon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for your best time. So really take advantage of that best time posting if you're going to post. Try to get yourself in that best time and take advantage of when the most users in your audience are going to be on. Okay, encourage friends, employees, and fans to update their newsfeed settings to include you. Remember, we can do this today. We can explain to people that Facebook has changed and we want them to see us and we don't want to disappear. So we would love if they would prioritize us and put us in their feed. Okay, this is a funny one that not a lot of people like to do. But, you know, ask your friends and family and employees to engage. Say, hey, when I post something on Facebook from the business page, you know, don't forget to like it. Make sure you share it with everybody. It's important to me, and it helps my business without you spending any money on me. I mean, we've seen this a lot of times. People say, oh, you know, if you want to support my business, you can leave me a review. You can like a post, and these are ways to help me without spending money. And now it's more true than ever. If they just engage a little bit, they're really going to help more people find you and see you. Okay, so timely responses and interaction. This was not typically a huge part of the algorithm before, and now it is. You know, we see on our business page where it says typically response within 24 hours, and that was something that Facebook was measuring to, you know, basically let customers know how long it would take us to get back to them. But now they're making our interactions with the pages and fans an essential part of what's going to prioritize our posts. So if you are within 24 hours liking or responding to comments, then this is going to help. So you want to seem relevant, you want to seem helpful, you want to seem valuable to Facebook so that they're prioritizing your business page and your business post. So if somebody comments and says, you know, I love this post, this is really nice, just say thank you. I mean, bare minimum, just say thank you. If not, like it, put up some emojis, use a GIF, whatever you want to do, but this is now more important than it was before. Okay, step 7 is leveraging low-cost ads. Something we didn't talk about before, but that is new, is that our organic reach we already know is down, but that Facebook is now limiting ads for larger businesses, which is freeing up advertising inventory. and is lowering the cost for small businesses. The more businesses that are out there advertising, the more expensive the bids become for our ads, and the big businesses will push out the small business visibility. So I've done a lot of research in the dollar a day ads, and if you're composing your ads well, if you are using great imagery, if you have a clear and concise message, those dollar a day ads can really work for you. All right, things to avoid, we've talked about this before, but anything where you're being pushy for people to buy something, if you're asking for likes and comments and things like that, you know, just don't do it anymore. It's not nice. Nobody likes a used car salesman. But, you know, we're at the point now where we don't want to see sales posts on Facebook anymore. We'll find another place for that, another place, another time. But for now, we're going to stop asking people to buy our stuff, and we're going to start educating people on our products and services instead. Anything engagement bait, and then any posts that link to outbound content. Okay. If you've ever boosted a post, and I can guarantee you half of you have, please stop. It has almost no conversion value whatsoever. It does not target users most likely to purchase, and only the people that are just randomly online at that time. So if you're going to run ads like we talked about here, I want you to make sure that you're setting up an audience or using a lookalike audience for a competing business, that you are specifying who your target is, and that you are you know, taking the most advantage of adding the most information there about who you want to speak to. Okay, so don't be tempted to boost anymore. Okay, so everything all together means that we don't have the organic research that we had before, and we're really relying on the consumers to find us. So is this actually a good thing? Facebook's improving the user experience. Now, I use Facebook for personal stuff too, so personal and business. So like I said, I don't want to see a million ads, and it's fine. I appreciate that they're trying to improve the user experience and make it a more satisfying type of application. They're making sure that they're limiting the number of large business ads, so that is a really good thing for us. And, you know, smart small businesses will adapt, so it's not that bad. But what I don't want you to do is say what my customer said to me this morning, and that was that she was leaving Facebook. Okay, 60% of consumers visit your Facebook page before visiting your brick and mortar location or website. I do this. You probably do this or have done it before. This is more than enough reason to have a business Facebook page. 80% of consumers are more inclined to purchase from you if they find a credible, authentic Facebook page. The key there is authentic. 62% of consumers say Facebook is the most important and useful social media channel to research small businesses. And that one kind of rings true for me. Again, I'll always go check out a Facebook page, make sure, you know, they've posted recently, and it wasn't since 2016 that they last had something good to say. So we're going to make sure that we're high in the feed. We're going to encourage immediate attention. We're going to make our businesses relevant. We're going to build the know, like, and trust factor. We're going to acknowledge pain points and relatability in our posts, and all that is going to help us to keep up with the ever-changing platforms, especially Facebook and Instagram, who is owned by Facebook, if you were not aware. If you want to keep up, you can follow Facebook. You can follow it in your news feeds. You can follow it on social media. You can follow your trusted social media experts like myself and others. You can read the news. All of these Facebook updates were announced in techie news channels and regular news channels as well, even amidst COVID. And you can use yourself as an example. I do this all the time. I say, okay, I'm a business, but I'm also a consumer. So how do I feel about this? What does this do I want to see this when I'm looking through Facebook? Maybe I just wanted to see memes that day, and this is an ad I don't like. So, think about what you would like to see and try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So this is right here, my last slide. This is all of my social media information in case you want to follow. So I did just want to really quickly mention a couple other things. There was one thing I forgot to mention, and that is purchasing followers. One of the other new things that Facebook is doing is if you have purchased followers in the past, you will probably notice a huge ding on your account. So hopefully none of you have done that. It is a thing you can buy likes and follows and things like that, but it's very what we call black hat marketing. We do not like to encourage it, and it will for sure get your account suspended and possibly even deleted completely. So with that, I will go ahead and turn on my camera, and I'll see everybody's beautiful faces if their cameras are on, and I'll take any questions from the audience. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Jennifer. It's Dawn again.
Hi, Dawn. How are you?
Good. I have a group of pharmacy ladies that would probably be interested in this. Would you be willing to do it live, or can I forward the whole recorded version to them? What would you prefer?
I mean, I'd be happy to talk to you about setting up some sort of workshop or class for just your group, or this has been recorded today, and I will send that out to my entire email list, and I'll put it on all my social media and websites.
Okay, so if we want anything additional, I'll just contact you and set that up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know how to reach me.
Yes.
Real quick, before anybody else jumps in, there is 2 questions in the chat I'll just answer real quickly, if that's okay. The no copy and paste. Let's say I write my post in Notes app on my phone and copy and paste to Facebook from there. No, that's not harming anything. It's not the act of copying and pasting. It's the act of copying and pasting other content that's already published. So once something's already published, it's out there, and it's really easy for Facebook to identify that sort of thing and to say, hey, that content's already there, so we don't need to see that 500 times. For nonprofits, it's going to be the same exact thing. In social media, a nonprofit and a for-profit business are ranked the same. There's no special ranking for nonprofits in social media. Okay, David asks, would posting on your story be better than making a post? So I don't want to say it's better, but I do want to say that I've seen a lot of research and have heard a little bit from Facebook that says that stories will be more visible than posts because I think they're trying to encourage people to use stories more often. So I would say go ahead, and if you're comfortable using Facebook stories and Instagram stories, go ahead and incorporate that into your plan and try to get that that going for you. Anybody else going to raise their hand? All right, well, I do want to thank every single person for taking the time to listen to me babble on. I hope that this helps you in increasing your visibility and your organic reach, and to get that little bit of edge above your competitors. If you want a copy of what we talked about today, I'll post the recording as well as the slide deck on my social media and my website. So you should be able to find it if you found this workshop on Facebook. And with that, I'll go ahead and end the meeting for everybody. Thank you guys so much and have a great weekend.